Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunattam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chakshurun Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shirupa Patanugam Govinda Bidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Prem Noi Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanum Sujanda Baranam Balarka Chilanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Manditam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishwara Sridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pranayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai. So we're hearing from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the hidden treasure of the sweet absolute, with translation and commentary by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. And this is chapter 6, Dhyana-yoga, the path of meditation. So we'll start with verse number 29. Sarvabhutastam atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. His consciousness united with the infinite, the master of yoga, sees the universal spirituality. He sees the supersoul within all beings and all beings within the supreme. His consciousness united with the infinite, the master of yoga sees the universal spirituality. He sees the supreme soul within all beings and all beings within the supreme. So the understanding of Vaishnava philosophy is that within the heart there is Atma and Paramatma. And the Svetasvatara Upanishad gives an example of two birds that are sitting on the branch of a tree. And one bird is tasting all the different fruits that are on the tree, hopping from branch to branch. Some of those fruits are sweet and some of them are bitter. But the other bird is just waiting for his friend to get tired of this whole tasting process and then fly away with him. So our understanding is that the individual individual soul or jiva is an individual whose consciousness is localized in this body. And we see that consciousness is spread throughout this body. If someone touches you, you're immediately aware. But if someone touches somebody else in the room, you may not be aware of that at all, because your consciousness is pertaining to your own individual body or your own individual existence, we could say. But the Paramatma is accompanying all the individual souls in all bodies, and that Paramatma is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. As we mentioned in the verse, Vedanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yadz jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti shabhyate. That the Lord can be understood by different spiritualist, we could say the first is the level of Brahman, or understanding the Brahman effulgence. Brahman does mean spirit, but the practitioner of impersonalism, he may come to the understanding of Brahman realization, of the effulgence, of becoming one with the Lord's effulgence. And then the yogi can, those who are personalists, we know it's mentioned elsewhere, there's two different kinds of yogis, those who are impersonalists, but more correctly we understand that the yogi will meditate upon the Paramatma within his heart, expansions of the Lord, which it is said, like, if you put hundreds of different pots of water, the reflection of the sun will be in each pot of water. So like that expansion or the reflection, we can say that's like Paramatma. But the highest realization is Bhagavan iti Shabdate, that the Lord, or Swayam Bhagavan, that personal Lord, he is the source of all these different expansions. So here it's talking about one who's actually the master of yoga. He is able to see the Supreme Soul within all beings, and all beings within the Supreme. So we're talking about the different levels of realization. But those who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, they can come to the realization of Swayam Bhagavan, of the Lord. Now even in the practice of Bhakti Yoga, there's two forms of Bhakti Yoga. One is Vidhi Marg, and the other is Raga Marg. Vidhi Marg is those who follow the worship of Vaikuntha, which is Aishvarya Gyan, understanding of the Lord's opulence. And those persons will worship the Lord as Vishnu. They will worship the Lord with opulence, with a feeling of awe and reverence. That will lead to level of Vaikuntha realization. But Krishna can only be understood, or only his most personal devotees, or following the path of Ragmarga, who come to the level of a spontaneous attraction for the Lord. Only those persons can actually enter in the plane of loving affection, affectionate dealings with Krishna. So for us, that kind of realization will only be attained by those persons who are servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us the actual understanding of the worship of Srila and Krishna. And others may talk about that, but they cannot understand that kind of worship, that spontaneous attraction, without Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So those who follow that path, they're called Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And we'll go on. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. For one who sees me in everything, and everything in me, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. For one who sees me in everything, and everything in me, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. And when I was reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita this morning, it began with the verse that, which I mentioned the other evening, and I said that verse is that if one can remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the most difficult things can be easily accomplished. And if one forgets Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the most easy things become extremely difficult. So here it's talking about successful yogi is coming to that, comes to that stage of realization. For one who sees me in everything, and everything in me, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. So this is it's a reciprocal relationship. It's a relationship between the soul or the jiva and the Lord. And that's how it should be. We understand jiva swarupa Krishna nitya das. The soul is by nature Krishna's servant. Now, someone may not have an idea of what it means to be a servant of the Lord. And some people will think a servant of the Lord is someone who's like an indentured servant, who's sold into slavery. Now we ourselves, we don't mind that consideration, but that's not really, that devotee may think that I'm sold to Krishna, whatever Krishna wants I will do. But Krishna has a loving relationship, a reciprocal relationship with his devotees. And actually, the Lord is as much interested in serving his devotee as the devotee is in serving the Lord. And we heard that example of how the great souls, those who are the most elevated practitioners of devotional service, they have no desire to take any service from the Lord. And yet the Lord is always anxious to serve those devotees. So then, if another person comes and is interested in serving the devotee of the Lord, then the Lord very much becomes indebted to that person also. Because the Lord thinks, I wanted to serve my exalted devotee, but he or she would not take any service from me. But this other person has come and is offering service to my devotee, and that's what I want to do. So the Lord then is very favorable to that devotee. And Srila Maharaj has explained like that how we can establish a relationship with the Lord, and it comes through our service to those who are especially very dear devotees of the Lord. If we can do something, even something apparently of not so much great importance, but that will be appreciated. Will be appreciated by that servitor, and also be appreciated by the Lord. And that is really the essence of our understanding, that I'm not just a servant of the Lord, but I'm the servant of the Lord's servant. That I am interested, I am not thinking so much to establish a relationship directly with the Lord. I am not so qualified as that. But if I can serve the devotees, then I have some position. Then I'm very happy to be able to do that. And if I am not so conscious of the fact that I am a servant of the devotees of the Lord, if I am not conscious of that, then I'm nowhere. I'm actually nowhere. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to, when persons would say, this is a very elevated devotee, then he would ask that person, who is your teacher? Who do you serve? And if they said, no, I serve directly to the Lord, then he would say, this person is nowhere. There's no connection. Sarvabhuta stitam yo mam bhajati ekatvamastita sarvata vartmanopi sarvata vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate sarvabhuta stitam yo mam bhajati ekatvam astita sarvata vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. The yogi who takes shelter of me and adores me in my non-different form as the supersoul situated within the heart of every living being abides in me in all circumstances. The yogi who takes shelter of me and adores me in my non-different form as the supersoul situated within the heart of every living being abides in me in all circumstances. We heard the description that a prakrita bhakta, or a third-class devotee, he'll see the Lord within the temple, and he'll be aware of the Lord's presence in the temple. But correct vision is to be able to see not just the Lord in the temple, but to be able to see the Lord in the hearts of all living entities. And also related to that, we heard the comment that sometimes it is said that there should be the chanting of the holy name in every town and village. We've heard that. But when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked, he was asked, do you want to see a temple in every town and village? And he said, no, I want everyone's heart to be a temple of the Lord. I want everyone to have that understanding of the Lord within their heart. And that way, that every person is a temple of the Lord. Atmo pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkam sayogi paramo mata. I consider the best of all yogis to be the one who knows the happiness and unhappiness of all beings as his own. I consider the best of all yogis to be the one who knows the happiness and unhappiness of all beings as his own. It is said, this is the state of consciousness of an elevated devotee, paradukkha dukhi, that he feels other person's unhappiness as his own. So we are, at the same time, we're considering that in order to serve everyone, we can't serve everyone individually, but we're seeing their connection with, just like the example given, watering the root of the tree, that watering the root of the tree, in that way all the branches and all the leaves will be nourished, but you can't individually nourish every branch and every leaf. But if you put water on the root, which is the service to the Lord, that will serve others. And also when Srila Sridhar Maharaj was asked, he gave an example about how some persons may not be able to understand or take to Krishna consciousness and what should be done. And he said, well, if I am feeding many persons there, I'm feeding them, and someone runs off who doesn't want to take that food, should I run after them and stop feeding everyone else? So, of course, the answer is that one has to see to, one has to see to the needs of everyone. That is what's also stated here. I consider the best of all yogis to be the one who knows the happiness and unhappiness of all beings as his own. And when Mahaprabhu was asked, Mahaprabhu actually asked to Ramananda Roy, he said, what is the greatest unhappiness? And Ramananda Roy answered, apart from separation from the devotees, I know of no unhappiness. I know of no other unhappiness apart from separation from the devotees. So, we will try to see to the happiness of everyone by trying to give everyone some connection as much as can be done by our feeble self, but we want to bring others into the family of Krishna consciousness. That's for sure. How that will be done, that requires, I am looking towards the example of the acharyas, how they will do that. And for me, the acharyas are Srila Govinda Maharaj especially, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and of course Srila Prabhupada also. He's my teacher. I remember one time with Srila Prabhupada, he was very concerned that one person had gone away, and he asked that the devotees would go out and search this person and find out what was happening with that person. And we were very startled by this, because so many persons had gone away and he had not necessarily shown that kind of great involvement with every one of them. But this person he did. And he asked the devotees to find him. It was a person in Calcutta, a devotee who had left, Bengali devotee, and the persons were searching for him. And then came some news that we could not understand Prabhupada's concern. But then we got some news shortly thereafter that person had taken his own life. And Prabhupada was searching for that person. So he was, had that kind of perception. It was an event that I took notice of, because it was if Srila Prabhupada was intuitively or intensely aware of that person's situation. And he considered that person, the way he reacted to that situation was different than he reacted to other persons. I remember that, and it was something that was very striking to me. Yeah. Yoyam Arjunuvacha Yoyam Yogas Tvaya Prokta Samyena Madhusudana Etasyaham na Pashyami Chanshalatvat Stitim Stiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudan, Because of the fickle nature of the mind, I cannot conceive how one can maintain the equilibrium in yoga that you have described. Arjuna said, "O Madhusudana, because of the fickle nature of the mind, I cannot conceive how one can maintain the equilibrium in yoga that you have described." And I've heard comment about this, and it was said that, just see, this is Arjuna, who's eminently qualified, and he says in a very direct way to Krishna, "O Madhusudana, I cannot conceive how one can maintain the equilibrium in yoga. How can one practice this kind of yoga that you describe?" So the comment was that Arjuna's heard about yoga, he's understood about yoga, but he is told to Krishna, this kind of practice, I can't conceive how I can engage in that way. Very direct observation. And then he continues. Let's see. He continues, let's see, 34. Chanchalami mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor eva sudushkaram chanchalami mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor eva sudushkaram. O Krishna, the mind is fickle, turbulent, obstinate, and very powerful. I consider controlling it to be more difficult than controlling the wind. And definitely, this is for sure. O Krishna, the mind is fickle, turbulent, obstinate, and very powerful. I consider controlling the mind. I consider controlling it to be more difficult than controlling the wind. Gives you some idea of how difficult it is to control the mind. But yet, by our engagement in the service of the Lord, we have to control the mind. We can't be controlled by the mind. If someone is controlled by the mind and senses, that person is called Godasa, a servant of the senses, which we will say will include the mind. And someone who controls the mind and senses, that person is Goswami. So, controlling the mind, controlling the senses. So Krishna, the mind is fickle, turbulent, obstinate, very powerful. I consider controlling it to be more difficult than controlling the wind. And Sri Bhagavan Uvacha asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham shalam abhyasena tu konteya vairagyena chagriyate. The Supreme Lord said, "O heroic Arjuna, undoubtedly the mind is fickle and extremely difficult to control. However, O son of Kunti, it is possible by practice and detachment." So there is some indication of how this mind, this fickle mind, can be controlled. It's be possible by practice and detachment. So that practice and detachment, that detachment is like we've heard in the Gita how the material world is considered like that reflection of the banyan tree in water. So anyway, so this tree can only be cut down by detachment and by some practicing, some determination, by being able to. And how can we have that determination? How can we have determination? By somehow or other engaging our mind and senses in the service of the Lord. The Lord is Rishikesha. He's in control of the mind and senses. So if we can engage in his service, then we can have that attachment. We've heard of his new ability to walk everywhere.
See it? You've been very shy right now.
Okay. I'm tucking a small boy here. Gaurachandra Das, the son of Nilamani and Shruti. Okay. (36) Asamyatatmano asamyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me mati vasyatmana tu yadata shakyo vaptum upayata asamyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me mati vasyatmana tu yadata shakyo vaptum upayata. I consider that yoga is difficult to attain for the person of unrestrained mind, but one who strives to restrain the mind by the appropriate practice can succeed in yoga. So then it will be natural that we want to practice devotion or understanding of Bhakti yoga. So, and Krishna is here saying it is difficult to attain for the person of unrestrained mind, so we will have to understand how to control our mind. But so Krishna says, but one who strives to restrain the mind by the appropriate practice can succeed in yoga. So now Krishna will give us understanding of the appropriate practice in which we can control the mind. Arjuna vacha ayati shradayo peto yogach chalita manasa aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gachati. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of a person who, due to his faith in the scriptures, engages in yoga practice, but lacking perseverance, proper practice, and abnegation, is distracted by mundane inclinations and fails to succeed in yoga practice?" Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of a person who, due to his faith in the scriptures, engages in yoga practice, but lacking perseverance, proper practice, and abnegation, is distracted by mundane inclinations and fails to succeed in yoga practice?" Or we could say, unsuccessful yogi has some inclination, has some faith in the scriptures, and wants to engage in yoga, but is not able to persevere, is not able to practice, and here mentions lacking perseverance, proper practice, and abnegation, or detachment from what is mundane, is distracted by mundane inclinations and fails to succeed in yoga practice. So this is Arjuna's question. Is that person ruined? Does that person lose everything? Normally, you come into this world with nothing and you leave with nothing. So I remember there was a conversation between Srila Prabhupada and one, I believe his name was Professor Katovsky in Russia, and Srila Prabhupada commented that it was that professor's conclusion that when this body is finished, everything is over, everything is finished. But then Prabhupada commented that even the most common rickshaw wala in India, if you ask him how his life is, he'll say, Jai karma ye fall, or like that. He'll say that I am getting the fruits of my actions according to my karma. He says, so they have understanding that what I'm getting in this life is a continuation of what I've done and what is coming to me from previous lives. Because Prabhupada was speaking at an engagement, and he was asked to speak about the difference between East and West. And he began, well, now when we consider everything globally, in one sense, there is no distinction of East and West. Because if you travel west, you can travel around the globe. If you travel east, you can travel around the globe. Although, I read recently that there are persons who still, they believe the earth is flat. And they're very concerned because now with social distancing, they're afraid that people will be falling off the side of the earth because it have to spread out far, and some people will become precipitously close to the edge and may fall. But Prabhupada began by saying, actually, that understanding things in terms of modern life, that we're understanding things globally. And in that sense, there is not so much this distinction of East and West any longer, because what happens in one part of the world is relevant to other parts of the world. Immediately, you can say. But he said, but still there is this distinction in consciousness. Because we say, it's like the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we'll talk about those persons who are from the land of Mahaprabhu, where the sun rises, it says, so one man did ask, he said, well, we are from Bengal, the land of where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, but we don't find that so many persons have some interest, and yet we're awestruck. We see that so many persons are coming from far away from the West, and they are practicing this, and we are coming from a place so close to where this all is beginning, and yet we don't have that traction. And what is the explanation? And the explanation is that Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. The living entities are actually wandering from one birth to another and from one place to another continually. And that word Brahmanda is the universe. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona. They are wandering. But Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavan Jeev. But when they become actually fortunate, Bhagavan Jeev means a fortunate soul. Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai, by the mercy of Krishna, they get a spiritual master. And by the mercy of the spiritual master, they are able to get Krishna. Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. So everything will depend if one is fortunate enough to get the mercy of the spiritual master. And it was answered like that. Yes, someone is very close to this. Someone is from the land of Mahaprabhu, but they haven't become yet fortunate, whereas somebody is far away, apparently, but they are getting that fortune. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, it is not a question of distance. It is a question of consciousness. And that way, So, I consider that yoga is difficult to attain for the person of unrestrained mind, but one who strives to restrain the mind by the appropriate practice can succeed in yoga. And 37. Arjuna vacha ayati shraddhayo peto yogats chalita manasa aprapya yoga samsiddhim kamgatim Krishna gacchati ayati shraddhayo peto yogats chalita manasa aprapya yoga samsiddhim kamgatim Krishna gacchati. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of a person who, due to his faith in the scriptures... Oh, I was reading this. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of a person who, due to his faith in the scriptures, engages in yoga practice, but lacking perseverance, proper practice, and abnegation, is distracted by mundane inclinations and fails to succeed in yoga practice? And then Prabhupada commented that even big professors and big scholars in the West think when this life is over, everything is finished. But even the most simple persons who have some faith in the scriptures and in the Lord, they can understand we're all getting continually from life after life, we're getting what is our due according to our activities. Then Kachin nobaya vibrashtas chinabram iva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudo brahmanapati. Kachin nobaya vibrashtas chinabram iva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudo brahmanapati. O mighty hero, O Krishna, having deviated from the yoga of attaining the absolute, shelterless, and fallen from the paths of both action and meditation, is not such a person utterly lost like a scattered cloud? Or like, elsewhere we saw it as a riven cloud, of a cloud that becomes separated from all the other clouds and just there in the middle of the sky being blown away by the wind or whatever. Kachinobaya vibrashtas china brahmi vanashati apratishto mahabaho vimudo brahmanapati. So that's what... O mighty hero of Krishna, having deviated from the yoga of attaining the absolute, shelterless, and fallen from the paths of both action and meditation, is not such a person utterly lost like a scattered cloud? And then, etanme samshayam Krishna chetum arhasi aseshata tvad anya samshayasyasya chetana I upadyate. Chaitanya I upapadyate etanme samshayam Krishna chetum arhasi aseshata tvad anya samshayasyasya chaitanya I upapadyate. O Krishna, no one but you can dispel this doubt of mine. Please mercifully slash it at the root. O Krishna, no one but you can dispel this doubt of mine. Please mercifully slash it at the root. Please help me to understand, because I want to follow your words and I'm faced with this very difficult situation. So what will happen to me if I try but I'm not successful? Will I not be utterly lost? Then I won't... That's good. This is a very good question, as people are tending to rely on what they've learned from rote memory or from their own experience. But experience is not always such a good teacher, because one should be able to learn from others without having to experience something that has disastrous results, without having gone through that situation oneself. One should be able to hear, no, I did that, and it didn't work for me at all. It was terrible, and this happened. And one should be able to learn from other people's experience without having to experience himself. But here Arjuna is saying, well, I have this doubt that if I take to this, and I'm following as your indications, and I'm trying to practice yoga, but I'm unsuccessful, then I'll be nowhere. So then what will happen? Please, dispel this doubt of mine. Then Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Partha Naiveha Namutra Vinashas Tasya Vidyate Na I Kalyana Krit Kaschid Durgatim Tata Gachati. The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, son of Kunti, there is no loss for the unsuccessful yoga practitioner, as he is not denied the happiness of the heavenly plane in this world, nor is he denied the chance of the fortune to see the supersoul in the transcendental realm. This is so, O dear one, because a person who performs virtuous actions never suffers an ill fate. Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, son of Kunti, there is no loss for the unsuccessful yoga practitioner, as he has not denied the happiness of the heavenly plane in this world, nor has he denied the chance of the fortune to see the supersoul in the transcendental realm. This is so, O dear one, because a person who performs virtuous actions never suffers an ill fate. Of course, we're not interested in elevation to the heavenly planets or any of those things. But Krishna is saying that even if a person's unsuccessful in following this divine path, that person will never be overcome by evil. A person will never lose by trying to gain in this practice. And I heard Srila Sridhar Maharaj once commented, he said, some persons, for instance, they abruptly try to take to sannyas. And he said, sannyas may be considered sometimes to be trying to jump out of this cycle of birth and death. And he said, but in so jumping out of this cycle, someone may be unsuccessful. They may break all the bones in their body in trying to jump in that way. To give an example that you're caught in something and you try to get out of it, and by trying to get out of it, you may be unsuccessful. But he said, but still, it is very noble, and there's no loss in trying. No loss in trying. So, but this has to be spoken to others in a way that they can digest it. Not everybody will be able to digest. Like one time Prabhupada was speaking to a television audience, and the television announcer was a little bit concerned, because the message of Krishna consciousness is direct. And he was saying, well, Swami, what will happen to those who don't have any interest in this Krishna consciousness? And Prabhupada said, then again you become cats and dogs. So it was a good, we liked the answer, but apparently it was a little, shocking for the television announcer, because people are not normally thinking in those terms. But here Krishna is saying, in the very, very correct way, he's saying, O Arjuna, son of Kunti, there's no loss for the unsuccessful yoga practitioner, as he is not denied happiness, the heavenly plane, nor is he denied the chance of the fortune to see the supersoul in the transcendental realm. And when Srila Sridhar Maharaj was told, well, it is not recommended for us to read the most elevated literatures of for instance, Rupa Goswami, literatures like Ujjvala Nilamani, not encouraging people to read such literature which is way beyond their spiritual attainment or comprehension. And someone asked, well, does that mean we will never be able to read these literatures of the Goswamis? We'll never get that chance? And Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, answer, are we atheists? Are we atheists? In other words, we think that when everything is finished, then when this life is over, that's the end? There's no future? No one has the opportunity to again continue and eventually come to the level of being able to appreciate what is of the most elevated divine nature? Or as they say, fools rush in, where angels fear to tread. So, but there will come a time in the future we're not atheists. We're believing that one progressively is advancing. By the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we get that. Guru Gauranga Jayate, we will get that opportunity to advance. Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati sama shuchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. After residing for many years in all those heavenly planes that are attainable by the performers of great sacrifices, such as the Ashram, the unsuccessful yoga practitioner takes birth in the home of honorable, prosperous persons given to pure and honest practices. See, this boy, he may have been given that chance to be born into a good house where he can continue with his spiritual advancement. After residing, in other words, we don't know who we're dealing with. Some persons they're just continuing with their own, everyone's continuing with their own attainment of spiritual consciousness, of Krishna consciousness. After residing for many years in all those heavenly planes that are attainable by the performers of great sacrifices, such as the Ashrameda, the unsuccessful yoga practitioner takes birth in the home of honorable, prosperous persons given to pure and honest practices. Well, not always prosperous, but that's sometimes prosperous. So we'll continue from this point at our next reading. Our classes are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Today is Thursday. Wednesday is
Arun Krishna's class.
Yes, Arun Krishna's explanations about the Vaishnava songs and other like that. Friday is Jairam's class. And Saturday we are having the video of Sridhar Maharaj, mostly Srila Govinda Maharaj, and sometimes some films or videos of Sridhar Maharaj. But the videos of Govinda Maharaj are very wonderful. And for a while we couldn't find those tapes of Parvat Maharaj, but then we found them. And so many wonderful videos of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That's Saturday. Then Sunday, we're concentrated on our Sunday program here. But there also is, believe, Saturday, isn't there a class by Jivana and who joins her? Sureshwari and Jivana. They do a reading of Srimad Bhagavatam on Saturday. Okay. And of course there's a program on Sunday evening, some continuing. And every morning we're continuing with 6 days a week. We're continuing with Chaitanya Charitamrita. One day in English and one day in Spanish. What days in Spanish?
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in English on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. Look at him walk. Let's see that. Oh, very good. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Sharavaya Nama Sharavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranam Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raguna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasta Raguna Chai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabista Puran Chai Gosai Jar Mui Taradan Dasamar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniban Janame Janame More Abhilas Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Kolamas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Goriya Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Juki Jai. Tadiya Jayom Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tarasada Shishimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tarasada Shishimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Amachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premziko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Madharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.
So now you're very adventurous, huh?